entered the gaming industry as a performer.
Dutch actor, singer, and streamer.
Please welcome Stefanie Joosten.
How did you decide to go the streaming route and play games like that?
This is so uncanny, the mouth movement. I saw it as a way to connect with the community more because I was playing the games that I play a part in as a performer. It was just a surreal experience.
Everyone, please welcome
Your collaboration with Giorgio Moroder, that blew me away.
My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but you can call me Giorgio.
Like, that just completely blew me away.
Well, I was blown away by the collaboration as well. I just couldn't believe it. He's a master of this 80s theme sound. He came up with making a vocal contribution to the songs as well, so I could not have dreamed for this.
You're a performer in the industry. AI has the potential to really kind of skew things around for actors and performers.
I would like AI to take away the annoying parts of my life. Like, for instance, a robot to clean my house perfectly and stuff like that. It's a scary topic for many people, especially in creative fields. You can't really stop it, but I also think it will...
Stefanie, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for finding the time to have a conversation. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think first things first, I would like to say a big thank you to Donna, who made this conversation possible. Obviously, she's a good friend of yours, and I just wanted to publicly say that I'm very thankful for her, to her for helping organize this this conversation. It's a big deal for me to have interesting guests like yourself, like Donna, on the show, and it's a privilege for me. And so, with that said, I think probably the first order of business, you're on your way to Gamescom, which is super cool.
That's right.
That's happening in a few days from now. Unfortunately, the episode will air a little after Gamescom itself, but nonetheless, I've recently also found out that you were, let's say, nominated or named as the Gamescom Creator Ambassador for 2025.
That's right.
It's one of the new things, that they're doing. I'm not sure what it is because it's the first time that they're doing it. Could you kind of tell me what that is and what it entails?
Well, it's one creator for each country. Well, there was room for 8 ambassadors, and so I'm the ambassador for the Netherlands this time. And
awesome.
It's more of an honor, mostly, to actually. Because I've been to Gamescom before, but as an ambassador, I'll just have the room to really take in the full experience of Gamescom and highlight all the upcoming titles, big and small, even more. And it just really gives me the opportunity to talk to everyone there and be there for the full duration. So, It's just a huge honor as a lifelong gamer. I'm very happy to have been selected.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's from what I know, it's the first time that they're doing it. Do you happen to know who are the other ambassadors?
I'm a little embarrassed.
Not sure.
Because I only briefly we had
no problem.
Just had a group chat together, but we're gonna get to know each other on the evening before Gamescom. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting them too.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking forward to, watching the show. It's been 2 years that I'm trying to plan my, let's say, my adventure towards Gamescom. But for 2 years, it's just so impossible, with work and with my kid. But hopefully maybe next year I'll finally be able to go. It's something that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I think it's worth the trip. I'm very lucky that it's close to where I am. So it's a luxury to easily get there, but it's just such an experience. From previous years, I've always been so impressed and overwhelmed with it's
right.
It's really huge. If you go, be prepared to do a lot of walking and wear comfortable shoes.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I've been to a few Comic Cons, not in the US, but. Those are big, but Gamescom is even bigger, so I'm not even sure what to expect. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. Hopefully next year is going to be the year that I can finally make my way there. But anyways, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Be eagerly, watching, Jeff start the show and the whole, event. But you mentioned that you were a lifelong gamer. That's really awesome to know. I'm sure you talked about this before, but could you rewind the clock back a little bit to tell us, how did you get into gaming? What were some of your favorite games growing up? And how did that hobby kind of stick with you throughout your life?
Sure. My gaming hobby started very early. It sort of came from my dad. It's one of my earliest memories, really. I think ever since I was like 4 years old, my dad, he had this Nintendo Entertainment System, the original.
Right. Yeah.
He had it actually, but he hadn't used it for a couple of years. And then he took it out of storage and he was like, oh, right, like maybe this is fun to do with the kids. And then it all went from there. I started with Mario Brothers, the first one, and Duck Hunt with the with the pistol that came with it. So those are my earliest gaming memories. And it's really, I feel so lucky as the generation that I'm from, that I was able to experience the evolution of gaming in such a time where it's just it all went so fast. These steps between generations of consoles and just seeing it grow from 2D to 3D to completely cinematic experiences nowadays. So I got very passionate about gaming myself during my teenage years. And I got very into, I was kind of, I had to buy games just for my pocket money. So I was kind of selective on what I got and often like looking into the bargain bin and stuff. So sometimes I would go to the store and so I would usually like get games that are maybe like have been out for a few years, or you had like the platinum titles. And I remember getting Final Fantasy X after it had been out for a while, and I was just so impressed by it. Left such an impression on me, and from there on I got really into Japanese games, Japanese RPGs. Mostly Final Fantasy was a big part of gaming for me growing up, so I didn't play them in order, but I started with Final Fantasy X, and then I played Final Fantasy VII, the original, and I was so passionate about them. Also a bit more unusual, I really enjoyed rhythm games, and I had a phase where I played a lot of Dance Dance Revolution, if you remember that.
Yeah, for sure.
So nice. My interests were very varied.
Nice. That's really cool. When you mentioned about the fact that you were lucky enough to have lived through this revolution of gaming,
right?
Quite frankly, I had on the show, I was speaking to a video game historian, and he also mentioned that specific feeling of being really lucky to have witnessed that. And I can also attest to that. I think it's one of the biggest industries in existence now. And being, for example, introduced to the industry, say from today's generation, I don't think you'll be able to kind of achieve that, sense of awe and amazement of the, when the PS1 came out, then when the PS2 came out, for example, PS4, when you visually saw, the progress and the difference. So I agree 100% that it's a really unique thing to be able to have witnessed kind of this, I would say, a very historic, progress in an innovation in the gaming space. But It's really cool to know that you've been a gamer. So am I correct in understanding you've played through the consoles as well, like PS1, PS2, and all those?
Yeah, my brother had the PS1, so I did. I played a bit of Tekken. I went and got the PS2 myself, and played on the PS2 for a long time. That was a big one for my gaming experience.
So obviously now you stream, and you're, well, I wouldn't say you're completely focused on it, but there's a certain focus on streaming for you, and I would love to get into that. But you're playing on the PC, if I'm correct.
I play on both, mostly PlayStation 5 and also a bit
okay.
on PC.
Also a bit on PC. Okay, I thought it was only on the PC. So when that transition happened, when was the first time you got yourself a gaming PC?
Oh, a gaming PC was very recent for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a console person mostly. And
Awesome.
also in my free time, I've always had a big love for portable systems. And
Right.
I also was very passionate on Nintendo DS and then the 3DS and the PSP as well. Lots of great
PSP,
games on
even
those
today,
systems too.
oh yeah. PSP holds up today even. Some creators still play it to this day. I see some videos on YouTube. It's a really good, definitely a really good console. But did you feel that difference from the console to the PC when you got yourself a gaming PC? Like, was it this is something different for you, or since you played with the PS5, wasn't that big of a difference?
Right. I'm not, I must admit, I'm not very much of a graphics focused gamer. So I just want video games to be good and be fun, be a good experience. That's what matters to me most. And so I'm not very, I find myself not caring very much about the graphics superiority that you will have with PC gaming, maybe. So to me, it's kind of equal. I don't really see it as it's a luxury, of course, to be able to play on a gaming PC. But I struggle a lot with controls when it's games that need keyboard controls, and I'm just not used to them. So that's something I really need to adjust to. But other than that, the experience is quite equal to me.
Got it. As long as it plays games, right? It's the most important thing.
I like the hassle-free thing of aspect of consoles, just being certain it'll play as it's supposed to be played. So that just gives comfort and convenience.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I've also been a console player. Well, I had a PC when I was very young. It was my dad's PC. Then I moved to consoles, and then I got a little bit older. When I could afford myself a PC, I got one. But and I was building it myself. And I understand what you say when like you need to build it, or if you buy it pre-built, you can't just put in a game. You need to make sure the settings are correct, update the drivers, make sure that your TV, the monitor is the refresh rate is correct and whatnot. So all these things, but I understand
it can be a bit intimidating.
Yeah, it definitely can. It definitely can. Talking about streaming, I'm so interested in that aspect of your career and what you're doing. Talk to me about growing the community and kind of maintaining the engagement with the community. Because if you take streaming as a profession, there's a lot of things that go into it. Many people think you just kind of have to play a game, but you not only have to play it, you have to be entertaining, you have to kind of talk to your community, manage all your social channels and whatnot. So how does that work for you? And in general, how did you kind of get not lured in, but you decided to go the streaming route and play games like that?
Well, I saw it as a way to connect with the community more because I kind of entered the gaming industry as a performer, and you sort of have this distance. I feel like it's a very nice way to stay in touch with what's going on. Sharing, it's also a very nice experience to share your experiences with new games that you're playing. Because I kind of started because I was playing the games that I did play a part in as a performer. So that was very unique in a way that it was just a surreal experience. And I think that was the aspect that was interesting for people to watch. But from there on, I just kept going starting just playing games that I was personally interested in, just exploring new things. And it's very interactive. It did take some getting used to, mostly in the sense that from the outside, it seems a lot easier than it actually is.
Yeah, definitely.
I think especially with games that have challenging gameplay, you find like you're always distributing your attention to your audience and the game. So it's like a multitasking effort.
Yeah.
And it makes the games a little bit harder than, well, when you would have your full attention to play them. So it's a different experience, but it's you get used to it, and it's a lot of fun. And you also get help and feedback live, and that's very unique and valuable as well.
Right. Yeah, I would assume I was speaking to a streamer just before our conversation, and he also mentioned that the audience helps so much in moments where that is just the most probably the most treacherous thing, really. But to kind of talk to the point of you're doing two things at the same time, right? You're playing the game and you're also kind of paying attention to your audience. What I noticed for myself when I just started this channel, it was me and my friend playing a game called DayZ, and we were doing it just for ourselves and keeping it private. And then my friend kind of had to go on a work trip, and so I was like, okay, let me upload a few gameplay videos of me playing these new games. Might as well do it. And what I noticed was I, for some reason, was not enjoying playing the video game as much as I would enjoy playing it by myself, because I had to play it in a way that would be interesting for the viewer to look. Whereas I kind of thought that I need to walk everywhere, read all the, signs and whatnot and play it my way. But then I realized, well, that's not an interesting way for everybody to look. Do you have that? Did you adjust the way you play your games, perhaps?
That is relatable. Is this sense of pressure. And I do feel like what you're describing sometimes. I tend to go pretty chill and still play my own way, where I like to explore everything and check every corner. I'm often quite the completionist when I start on a game, and I really like it. But I do see that sometimes, yes, you feel like you need to go from the action part to the action part and try to keep the pacing right. It's something you do keep in the back of your mind.
Right. And the lights as well, of course, the mic, the lights and everything. Your whole atmosphere is not necessarily relaxing, right? It's a bit more oriented towards having a good stream and whatnot, but yeah. There's
definitely games that I do prefer to play just by myself off stream, even though sometimes people from the audience will say play if you enjoy playing that, why don't you play it on stream? But sometimes I just feel like there's games that I want to play to relax and unwind, and I'm just imagining how it will be such a boring experience to watch for some. I don't know, maybe some people will find it interesting, but
I'm sure some
instance,
would.
I like playing cozy games too, like Stardew Valley, and I'm just using my Switch Lite, and I'm just sitting back and relaxing, and you don't always want to be talking while you're playing, So
Oh yeah. I found myself drinking, I don't know, a few bottles of water while recording the gameplay. I was speaking so much. I was like, my God, how do these streamers do it and Let's Players do it professionally?
It's very difficult. Hydrated, yeah.
No, it just goes to show that it's very difficult. It's very intricate. It has its, ups and downs, and it requires, your full attention to be able to, as we said, to play and to manage the audience. But kind of talking about some of the games that you were playing, I noticed on your Twitch, you played Project Zomboid not too long ago, I think. And
I did have a look, indeed, yeah.
What are your thoughts? Because that's one of my favorite games. I absolutely love that game. Yeah. So I was going to ask, what do you think?
I was personally interested in playing that because it looked very... it looked like a sandbox game where you have endless opportunities, and I really love that. I also just like the simplicity of the graphics, and I really did have a good time doing it, but also it was very overwhelming when it comes to... It's really, really hard to survive. I died so easily.
Yeah, for sure.
I will get back to it at some point, but also the thing that was the hardest for me was the controls, since I'm not a PC gamer, and it's quite a complicated control scheme, to me at least.
It is, yeah, it is, definitely.
So maybe it's something that can be... But I think it's still early access too, so I think they're still making improvements on the game too.
Yeah, they're always making improvements, which is great. But that game, You played it alone or you played it with someone online? I'm not sure.
I played it alone.
Okay. Well, perhaps next time it would be cool if you had a buddy to play it with.
Oh, is
then
that
it
possible
becomes... Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh.
With the new build, it's absolutely possible. And, I got to tell you, I had so many adventures on that game, and each adventure is different, and you create your own quests for yourself and your own goals and whatnot. So the moment you overcome this learning curve of kind of, realizing the meta of the game and how things work, when you'll feel comfortable to explore and to really kind of go for it, that's when the game really kicks in. And so I would suggest perhaps you could play with a buddy and you'd have a lot of fun.
That's always a good way to learn a game, if you can play together. And indeed, it's once you get through a learning curve, it's when the enjoyment really starts. I think that's sometimes, as I get, it kind of sounds stupid, but as I get older, I feel like I feel more resistant towards a steep learning curve in a game. I don't know if that's relatable to anyone, but I feel like it's just, you find comfort in the games that you know how to play and you can just jump right in. So it's something like sometimes I really gotta push through that phase of, all right, now I got it, okay. And yeah, it's just something you need to go through.
I can definitely relate to that, and more so, especially now, since I have my kiddo, I have not stopped, but I just cannot even dare myself to buy games that require 100+ hours to complete. I really want to, but I'm like, I know that I won't be able to finish it.
Your time is limited and time is valuable. Yeah. It's something a lot of adult gamers, to call it that, struggle with, I think. I hear that a lot. Yeah. People, also friends of mine of my age who are starting families are... They often have like a big backlog they have like a whole collection of games, but they're like, half of it I haven't gotten to yet because it's just so hard to find the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm still trying to finish Cyberpunk 2077. It's been 3 years. I'm trying every once in a while. I just realized, okay, I'm going to stop buying all these games that are, very vast, and perhaps wait until I'll have a bit more free time. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing that gets to you eventually.
Indeed.
And also Disco Elysium was one of the games that you played recently. And that game is really great. Also one of my favorites. We mentioned before, I had Alexander Rostov, who's the art director for the game, on the show. I'm so in love with the game. I was like, I could have spoken to him for hours and hours. So what do you think of the game? How was it for you?
I was so impressed by Disco Elysium. I know I'm very late in discovering it, just only having recently played it. But it was just, it was a truly unique experience to me. And I can pretty confidently say that it's one of the best games I've played. I feel like emotionally it left such a big impact on me. And it's been years since I've felt anything that strongly in a video game. I felt it was just such a beautiful combination of such great writing, and the art style was so incredibly unique. I quite immediately fell in love with the universe and the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy to fall in love with that type of game. But again, it's a game for, I think, people with patience. So you got to read a lot, right? Because many of my friends, they said, "Oh my God, I can't read so much. Like, it's just text." So it kind of divides the gamers, but those who like that genre, quite unanimously, all agree that it's a fantastic game, and it is. But I'm just remembering now when I was playing it, it was the best experience. Sorry.
I think what was it called again? Not the director's cut, but the final cut.
The final cut,
Disco Elysium, the final cut. They expanded on the voice acting, and it was fully voice acted. So in that sense, it was also really chill to... You can just listen instead of having to do so much reading. So I think that probably makes the game more accessible to more people too. And the performances are really great as well.
Oh, God.
Just the whole package was just so beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, it's a perfect little gem.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll make something new in the future. Apparently something's brewing, so we'll see how that's going to go. But
I'd be very
yeah,
interested in learning about that.
Yeah. We spoke about Donna in the beginning, and I want to kind of speak about her a little bit more. You guys have such a wonderful relationship together. I've looked at so many videos on her channel. I think some on your channel as well. It's just like a comedy skit, really. You're so, you work so well together and kind of help each other out and everything. Talk to me about the relationship. How did you guys become friends?
Right. It's been a long friendship, and I treasure it so much. How we got to meet each other was quite interesting. So I was living in Tokyo at the time. Donna has been living in Tokyo for much longer, and I I was working on Metal Gear Solid 5, and I got offered the opportunity to perform Quiet's theme. It was kind of like a later into development thought that happened.
Here to perform Quiet's theme from the Metal Gear Solid 5 soundtrack, please welcome Stefanie Joosten.
In the sky, carry these words for me.
And at that point, I didn't have professional singing experience yet. So,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I was more like it was the approach of singing it as the character, as part of the performance of Quiet, and I definitely could use some guidance there in how to approach it, and then I was put into contact with Donna, who at that point I was actually a little bit starstruck because
I would imagine.
I knew her from singing the theme song of Peace Walker.
Peace Walker, yeah.
And I also remember, I don't know which year it was again, but it was the Metal Gear 20th anniversary party, I think. And I saw her perform live there, and I was just so impressed. And I really looked up to her. So once I was actually put in touch with her, I was pretty starstruck. But quickly, like, we warmed up so quickly to each other. She it's not like she's not a vocal coach or anything like that, but it was more like she became a mentor figure to me,
right?
And it was really nice how she taught me to approach the song Quiet's theme from a emotional point, and I think that worked really well. I was really
for sure.
We were both really happy with the end result, I think. And very quickly after that, we just became friends. It was so much. It was so much fun hanging out with her. And,
yeah, I would imagine.
It was just so warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
So yes, we just hung out a lot together, and then we had this. Donna had this idea of doing those little sketches on YouTube. So that's what you saw.
That's so good.
It was just us having fun, and we liked. It was fun, like working together to stay in touch with the fans and just treasuring all that what was happening. It was a big moment in both our careers, so that was really. It was really beautiful to have that form into a friendship that has lasted for over 10 years now. And I'm so happy to, even though I'm not living in Tokyo anymore, we're still staying in touch, and we're gonna be performing together in November in London, which is just such a beautiful milestone, a new milestone for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many questions that I could ask from that, but since you mentioned your performance in November, that is, really big news. You've announced it not too long ago. And so that is going to be from what I understand, a Metal Gear in concert, November 1st in London, Royal Albert Hall, which is a very, very big deal. That's like, my mind is blown. So Like, what
That
can we
was-
expect? You know, and who's gonna perform also, and just can you tell us about the event?
Well, it was an incredible. It was a surprise in a way to both me and Donna as well. We were just so amazed, and it was just so. It felt so perfect. It's for us. It's this year marks the 10-year anniversary of MGS5, and
Right.
then kind of at a moment at which we weren't expecting something like on this scale to happen, we heard that they wanted to do a Metal Gear in concert in London at the Royal Albert Hall of all places.
That's crazy.
And it was just an unbelievable surprise. It felt surreal that something like
Right.
that was achievable. And it's just so perfect and beautiful to have the legacy of Metal Gear still be celebrated and on such a scale. So ever since we heard about it, we've really been looking out. I'm just so excited for
Yeah.
the fans to come together and to have this beautiful big moment.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a big deal. So was it Donna and you who organized it, or it was another party?
No. We were just approached by it, but
Got it.
by Konami and
Got it.
the collaborators getting it
God.
together, together with the Royal Albert Hall organizing things. And I'm also going to, for the first time, be working with Nicholas Buck, the conductor. And
Oh, wow.
Donna has worked with him before, heard many great things. So I'm excited to work with him. And we're going to be performing together with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. So that is a huge honor and privilege as
Wow.
well. It's really something special.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be an emotional and beautiful moment for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I spoke to Don about this as well, but like, I can't possibly imagine the anxiety and the nerves you might have before performing live, let alone before going to London to Royal Albert Hall. How do you prepare for like a performance like that? This mentally, I'm not talking about vocally, but mentally. Is there something you do or somehow you prepare for that?
Well, it is hard to because I do struggle with being nervous for it. I feel like it's definitely there's a lot of pressure there because it's such a prestigious venue, and I can imagine people having lots of expectations. But at the same time, I think I find comfort in that everyone there is there to celebrate something, something beautiful. And so everyone is there in a positive mindset. So I should be too. But other than that, it's to actually prepare for the mental preparation and physical preparation for a performance like that is kind of intertwined because I do make sure I'm doing lots of vocal exercise and getting ready for the performance to have that physical preparation ready. That will help with the mental preparation too.
Yeah. My God. Well, all I can say is, best of luck. I'm sure it's going to be an absolutely wonderful performance. Will it be only a live performance for the people who are present, or will it be streamed as well elsewhere?
I don't think it will be streamed, but I can't really say about any. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It would be nice if
Got
it would
it.
be recorded, I think, but I'm actually not sure if that's able to, because it's a very exclusive experience.
Yeah.
But we're having 2 shows in one day, so we have the afternoon and evening show. So
Wow.
there'll be
Okay.
lots of opportunity to have a lot of people there to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I was just asking for those who might not make it, but I'm sure videos will be uploaded to YouTube, perhaps post the event. But
Yeah, who knows?
because I'll be so interested to see the performance. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go in November, but nonetheless, I'll wait for the uploads after that. Wow, that's a big deal. So, talking about your singing career, right? That came as a surprise to me because when I was doing a little bit of research regarding some topics to talk about, I knew that you were singing in MGS, and I knew that you had a talent to do so. But then I realized you have a few albums out, and you have many songs, and they're actually really good. I've been listening to them, every once in a while, ever since I found out that you are, officially a singer. We're going to talk about your collaboration with Giorgio Moroder. That for me is absolutely just crazy because I'm a big fan of his. But talk to me about, how did you kind of deviate towards singing professionally? What led you towards being like, you know what, let me try singing now?
Right. Well, in a way, my experience singing, going from Quiet's theme in MGS5, personally, I've privately always enjoyed singing very much. And that kind of opened the door for me to take it more seriously and really develop, work on my skills as a vocal performer. And, I'm kind of approaching it as also a part of being an actor. But I know it's not the same as... It's not especially exactly under the category of being an actor, but in the way it's both an emotional performance for me. Very, I see it very similarly in a way.
Yeah,
both voice acting and singing, and I've had the chance to do the theme song for a game called Last Labyrinth, for instance, and. From there on, I just wanted to keep developing and working on it. And then there was a game I worked on called Wanted Dead that they were looking to make a very original soundtrack for that game. And then I was able to make some nice contributions to that too. And from there on, things developed in... it all came like a magical thing that I was able to have my standalone album after that. So it's all like from kind of like a side project. It became into a big thing on its own, which is really magical. And I'm so glad I was able to get the chance to do that.
Right, for sure, definitely. And you're so good at it. And in terms of writing your first album, in terms of like writing the songs or coming up with the songs, did you also do the writing for them, or was it a mix of both? Like some you wrote, some you didn't?
No, I can't take credit for the writing and composing. It's I see it more as I'm an interpreter of.
Got it.
As in the same way as how I'm an actor, interpreter of someone else's words. And but I definitely had some input on the themes that we were featuring on those songs. And so yes, it does. It's still a very creative effort and a beautiful thing to contribute to.
For sure. It's I was so pleasantly surprised to find your albums and your music. It's again really, really good. And now finally talking about your collaboration with Giorgio Moroder, that blew me away. Like that just completely blew me away. For those who don't know, you can obviously explain in more detail, but Giorgio Moroder, an absolutely a legend in composer. He composed for Scarface, for Top Gun, for many other movies. His music is present in the Grand Theft Auto series as well. I mean, he's a big deal. Can you tell me about the introduction with him and kind of how did that collaboration came to be?
Well, I was blown away by the collaboration as well. I just couldn't believe it. I came in touch with Giorgio Moroder through Rainey Shockney, who is a close collaborator of Giorgio. He's worked on many projects, also like TV series such as Queen of the South, and
that's amazing TV series, by the way. Yeah.
He's a master of this 80s theme sound, and I really enjoyed collaborating with Rainey. And so he came into touch with Giorgio, and at the start it was kind of like supposed to be, or he asked Giorgio to be a collaborator on just some of the tracks, or just overseeing things. And then I was just blown away when Giorgio expressed interest, and he wanted to be more involved. And actually, I was blown away when he came up with actually being making a vocal contribution to the songs as well. So there's Triads of the Human Race, where he does the vocals in the chorus as well, and it still blows me away that this thing came together. I could not have dreamed for this, and it's just I feel so blessed, and it's really awesome to have a legacy, have a legendary person like Giorgio be part of one of the projects I worked on.
Oh yeah, for sure. How's he like in person? Is he as energetic and charismatic as we see on videos?
I've only been able to meet him on a distance since he wasn't able to travel to Europe at the time. But he did send some. He sent a lot of feedback, and
nice. Wow,
it was really. I was just very starstruck.
Yeah. I would imagine. And the idea to go the 80s style route, was it his idea, or you both kind of collaborated and decided, well, the album's going to have this vibe of the 80s?
It kind of started with the game Wanted Dead, which really had the soundtrack already with this nostalgic vibe, lots of 80s sounds, and it's something I personally really love. I love disco. I love Giorgio's disco music. I listen to it a lot, and so it was something I was personally very, very fond of already. So this really clicked easily with the team to work on an 80s theme there.
Wow, that's really cool. That really blew me away. Quite honestly. Are you planning another perhaps collaboration with Giorgio, or maybe something's in the works?
Well, I'm definitely open for a new. Right now, nothing's in the works yet, but I'm focused on the concert, Metal Gear in Concert, which is quite a very different mindset and mode of music. But I'm very open. I'm just thankful for this opportunity but I'm also kind of ready to try something. I just love experiencing new fields of music as well, and trying different things. I'm just always very open to creatively. I'm kind of all over the place, and I feel like that's just a beautiful thing to experience anyway. So
for sure,
who knows? What kind of teams will get together in the future?
You definitely have your hands full, especially with the concert in Albert Hall. But yeah, if there's going to be any other collaborations with Giorgio, you can count me in. I love listening to anything that he makes, and especially if you're singing, that's really awesome. To shift the subjects just a little bit and talk about kind of the industry, and if we zoom out and kind of look at the industry from a bird's eye view. I would like to first start our conversation talking about, the latest SAG-AFTRA negotiations that, from what I hear, have finished and some kind of deal was reached. But, AI has a lot of influence in what's going on for actors and performers. You're a performer in the industry, and, AI has the potential to really kind of skew things around. So I want to get to know your thoughts about AI and about the, SAG-AFTRA negotiations that were going on with the voice actors in the industry.
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated topic. when it comes to SAG-AFTRA, I'm actually, as a performer based in the Netherlands, I'm not part of the union, so I'm not really very directly involved. And but I still think it's a good thing, because these negotiations of the unions, they affect performers worldwide, so they do have an impact on a very wide impact on the industry. So I think it's always good to have these talks, and that brings room for change worldwide. So that's just my perspective on that. But when it comes to AI, it's a very complicated topic. It's a scary topic for many people, especially in creative fields.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult because I do see benefit of AI in a lot of fields. It can streamline a lot of processes, and there's a lot of room for innovation. But when it comes to creative fields, it gets very emotional and difficult. I think, like a lot of people, like this simplified sentiment of things is, I would like AI to take away the annoying parts of my life. Like, for instance, it would be great to have a robot to clean my house perfectly and stuff like that. The things, or do my administrative work and stuff I don't really enjoy doing. Yeah. But why do you want AI to do art? It just feels so unnecessary. Mm-hmm. And it's just a sentiment I think a lot of artists have, and to be kind of hostile towards AI having an impact on art and creative fields. And it's a difficult thing. I think it's, in a way, you can't really stop it, but I also think it will never replace the work of actual creatives, actual people. There's always the human aspect of creative contributions. It's something,
for sure,
I think AI can never replace, to come up with a completely unique voice, unique perspectives. I think maybe we shouldn't feel as threatened as some do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree with you now that we've been in this AI bubble for a very long time. And what I'm starting to sense in myself is this AI fatigue. Like, whenever I receive an email, sometimes I just know that it was written by ChatGPT, and I'm like, okay, here we go again. And so I think perhaps that might be the case. Like, AI came in with a boom, and sure, it's going to help in terms of doing mundane tasks, which is great. Also, like in video creation and editing and whatnot, it's nice to have certain AI features. But when it comes to, like you said, this creative human creation and human imagination, eventually we are going to get AI fatigue. I think, at least I'm feeling it, where we're going to be like, yes, okay, AI is there, it's great, but I think at least for the majority, the industry will shift to working with real people. Perhaps smaller projects or indie small teams could use AI for demo versions of their game before they get funded or whatnot. But after that, I think still, as you said, a real human is the way to go when it comes to acting and performing, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see more contributions of AI, and maybe it'll be very helpful, especially when it comes to indie developers with less funds, and as long as it's used in a way that it doesn't take away from the creativity, it could be very useful.
Definitely. Talking about indie games, I mean, in my opinion, indie developers are having a pretty big moment. That is a big win for them. They're gaining more recognition. They, in a way, have more creative freedom when it's a team that is not backed by any corporate companies. And so from kind of your vantage point as a gamer and as a creator, how do you see kind of the shift that is happening right now in terms of the landscape of video games? Because there's content creation that is very important, but also game creation is very important, and they're kind of intertwined. And so if we see teams like Sandfold, who have made Expedition 33, create, what is unanimously one of the best games of 2025, in comparison to kind of what's happening in the AAA sector. I think the AAA, the AAA companies could be worried potentially. So I kind of wanted to have your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Right. I have a feeling there will be a natural shift even from AAA developers, because what I've been feeling is that there is really a demand for games that take risks and games that innovate. And AAA developers have in recent years, I think, really been kind of taken over by corporate decision making. I think too much. I feel like it kind of sounds like, and back in the day, games were much more. It felt like they were more innovative and had more surprising elements to them. And in recent years, I guess there's this kind of fatigue among many gamers now that a lot of games are kind of keep following the same kind of concepts and not really adding that much new or surprising. So in that sense, it's good that I think there's a shift. In a way, I think the gaming landscape is, at this point, it's more diverse than it has ever been if you include indie games. And, I think the popularity of indie games is very telling of that. I'm very fond of seeing so much diversity, and, it's, I think probably eventually AAA will follow. I mean, so. They kind of have to.
I hope so. I mean, AAA. This is not news, but many of the companies are working for the money, whereas the indie developers are working just to create something that they're passionate about, and that's the little difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think if you're a AAA studio. If you create something you're passionate about, the money will follow. And obviously big money can follow. There are AAA developers that are absolutely great that take 3, 4, 5 years to create a video game that the community loves and enjoys. But if you have those yearly releases, that's a bit, it's getting to a point where I look at the trailer I'm like, I know that I'm not going to be interested to play this. Let me quickly see what's happening in the indie sector. And I've shifted maybe 5 years ago already. I've shifted to playing much more indie titles or, very specific niche titles rather than these huge AAA, let's say, blockbusters and whatnot. But it's...
I think in a way, I feel like we've also reached the point where it's games can't just drive on the innovation when it comes to... When it comes to graphics, for instance. And I feel like we've kind of reached the point where it doesn't make that much of a difference. Because when it comes to AAA games, I still see a lot of people playing games that have been released 5 years or more ago, and still they hold up so well. And it's just like, if it's a good game, it doesn't really feel like much has improved in the last few years, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
In that sense.
And now with the AI coming in, I saw a statistic that around, I don't want to give you a false statistic, but something, either 5 or 10% of indie games on Steam are using AI in some shape or form in their games. And I'm like, I hope this doesn't get, any bigger than 5 or 10%.
Well, it's just, I guess it's very tempting to use AI if it's more widely available as a tool. Mm-hmm. And it might saturate the market a bit. Like, I think, and just it comes to a lot of fields, not just gaming, when there's going to be more AI input, and it's going to be kind of AI pollution, maybe, in the sense that people are already growing tired of it. So I'm not sure. If that's a positive development. I think so. Eventually, things will shift, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure, at the end of the day, it's the consumer that dictates kind of where the industry is going to go. So I'm pretty sure if we all get a bit, let's say, overwhelmed by AI, we're going to voice our concern, and hopefully the industry will listen. But anyways, it was very interesting to kind of get your opinion on those things. But talking about, a little bit also about kind of your career in a way. So it's so multifaceted, right? You're acting, singing, performing, voice acting, many things. But this is an example from movies now. So in movies, there are many actors who have turned to become directors. And there's really a fine line between an actor and a director, I believe. And many actors have turned out to be really great directors who make fantastic movies. So I'm interested, is there an idea that you would like to create your own video game someday, perhaps? Or did you ever think about that?
I've definitely thought about it. Getting a video game done as on my own, I don't really see as a possibility in any time in the near future. But I did have in recent years have had the experience of taking the role of a director, both as a performance director on Wanted Dead, and it's very true that it's a field that's pretty closely related, especially once you've built a certain experience as a performer. You kind of have gather this know-how and experience of how things should be streamlined, and so it's really nice to be able to contribute in that way, and I would love to do that more in the future, especially on the field of mocap. It's something it's a magical experience on its own to be part of a mocap crew, and I've also done a bit of creative direction, which I really love to do. And it's nice to actually get your creative input on a more global sense in the game than just on just a certain character. So it's something I definitely hope to do more in the future.
Yeah, I think that would be very nice because you know both sides of the industry, basically, right? And for your creativity to shine through a project that would be yours, I think that would be great. Obviously not today or tomorrow and by yourself. I didn't mean to create a game solo. I know that being a solo developer is close to impossible, especially if you're not a programmer, a coder. But generally, to have this idea of perhaps creating a game that is yours with a team and whatnot. But it's great that you're at least thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a very interesting process and project for you. But talking about mocap, I'm very interested to ask you. So you're in the mocap suit, or you're directing people in the mocap suit. Mm-hmm. Around you, there's green screen, or maybe not even green screen, just people, with dots on their suit.
Yeah.
How do you, let's say, get into the zone to understand or to imagine kind of what's happening around you to get the acting out? And conversely, how do you portray that to an actor who needs to imagine it, who you're directing?
Right. I think motion capture acting or performance capture, it really is more demanding on the actors. You really need actors who understand, you need, in a sense, you need people that are curious enough. They need to have a lot of curiosity to actually dive into the world that is completely imaginary at that point. When at the point where motion capture is done, usually there will be some kind of mock-up graphics to show them, but it'll be like very basic. And sometimes actors can get thrown off by that because they'll think like this will take place in this blocky world. So in a sense, it really helps if they do have an understanding of gaming, and be able to open up their minds to what this will become instead of what it is right now. So you really need to look through it, and also be able to trust that this world is going to come to life. Really let yourself be immersed. So it's really you need playful, curious actors to do that.
Yeah, and gamers, I guess.
Well, not necessarily. It just really depends on the person. I think many people in theater are skilled enough to imagine the worlds around them. So
definitely, it's such a
definitely
difficult.
Find the right people.
For sure. It's for me, it's such a not a difficult, but such a wonderful, let's say, thing to do, because I'm not obviously an actor and I can't even imagine doing the things that actors do. But it's you have to be such a creative individual to be able to do that, to channel these emotions, to be able to imagine what's going on, to hear directions, to be able to portray that. It's so many things all at the same time. Plus, you don't know how anything looks like. You're in the suit that looks so funny. It's great.
Yes.
Now, what you guys do, generally actors who perform in video games, I think, it's not recognized enough. I think a day will come where all the actors will be recognized even more, I believe, for their work. Not only the directors and the creators and the programmers. It's such a collaborative project, right? Making the video games.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. That's very, that's very interesting. But, when you're with the actors in the studio and you're telling them the message, right? What to do, how to act. When you were talking about so they see blocks. What you are referring to is like, so they don't see anything graphically there, but they see blockouts of what should be there. So a tree would be just a tube or something, right? That's what you're talking about?
Right. I should have maybe be more clear. It's more like most of the time the actors are kind of shown are kind of briefed before we get started on working on a scene. We get to see this mock-up little cutscene of what the plan is. Mm-hmm. And but this will usually be like very early development, and sometimes it can throw people off because it's sometimes it's hard to see what's.
Understood.
You gotta kind of be in sync with the developers and directors to see what they're seeing, what they're imagining to come to life there, because it's very abstract, and it takes a lot of imagination. And in a sense, with mocap, you can't really build a set like TV or theater, and you work with really basic props. Like usually it's like wooden structures that are very quickly constructed like on site to have like a platform that is supposed to be the helicopter or whatever is necessary. And you just gotta take that as the reality of it is the helicopter, and you got it. So it's just imagination that really needs a lot of work there.
Yeah,
but sometimes people
a lot of work.
Yeah, it's also the hard part is that for a lot of actors is that you often get like very fragmented. The motion capture process is a little more fragmented than film would be. So sometimes it's hard to see the big picture. So it's really nice to get to brief actors extensively and make sure any questions they had are cleared.
Right.
So to have the sense of the bigger picture instead of just going through the motions. It's just a challenging process. It has its challenges, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, challenging and fun, I would imagine, for sure. And I mean, it's a very collaborative project. And at the end, we do get wonderful games. In your case, for example, like MGS5. So that's very interesting. Stefanie, thank you so much for your time. I could talk on and on, but time is always limited. Thank you kindly for your time and for speaking to me. And best of luck with Gamescom, and best of luck with the concert in November. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely amazing. And just best of luck in general. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you. It was such a lovely and meaningful conversation. I really enjoyed it.